right. Well, hey, everybody. This is Tony Tominick and
Gary Spencer.
we're here for another 15 minutes of your life you will never, ever get back again. But we're continuing our journey from the baggage car of the Lakeshore Electric Railway. Sherry, where are we headed today?
Today, we are going to stop at one of your very favorite stops, Stop 45. Did you notice what I just said?
Yes, thank you.
Did you want to talk about that?
Well, it goes back a ways, but the Lakeshore Electric Railway had, I don't know, 30 some stops throughout the city. Is that correct? Close enough. They went from stop 40 to stop 69, I think. Anyway, they were all independent stops. There were no plurals. Now the folks that live in stop 45, which is a little development that, was there, they continue to call it the 45s with an S. And it's no big deal. It's just my little hot button because I'm just trying to keep the train on the tracks, so to speak. Because once we start messing with history and nomenclature and it goes into print, then all of a sudden it changes. And so I just want everybody to know there's only one, and it's stop 45.
You know what it started out as?
Go ahead.
Summer cottages for vacationers in Cleveland, because it was hot, it was dirty, it was gritty, it was grimy in the very, very throes of summer in Cleveland. So people wanted to escape. And where do you want to escape to on a hot summer day?
The lake.
The lake. And so the Stop 45 offered a wonderful place to build these charming little summer cottages, very simple. And you didn't have to worry about insulating them or having any of the niceties that you would require for a full season home. And you could come there and spend the better part of your summer there, right along or close enough to the shore of the lake that you just walk back and forth and enjoy. Very nice. Very nice. So, at Stop 45, they have started calling that area the Cottage District. And now we all know why.
Yeah, because it's cottages.
Yeah, it's cottages.
And the greatest place on the planet to grow up. It really was.
And some of the streets that are located in Stop 45, Lakewood, Oakwood, Forest, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were in a woods, and you would naturally give streets those kind of names.
Yep.
But what about the east-west intersecting street that parallels our now Lake Road and also Electric, called Gideon? What's that about?
Well, that's where the Bible guy lived, right?
Absolutely not. That was where Jacob Gideon lived.
You're just a know-it-all.
Well, if I don't set you straight, you're going to make it up.
Yeah. And the story's always much better than the truth.
Yeah, and then you're going to mess with history, and then
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So Jacob Gideon was a German immigrant, and he had a mind for detail and for creating and for engineering, and he actually got a patent.
For his mind, or
no?
Okay.
For his.
I know mine should be patented.
Yours should be probated, but that's a whole different episode.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks.
So we won't go there.
Okay.
He got a patent for his invention that was designed for grapevines, cultivating grapevines, and you can even use it for other produce. And it cultivated at the same time as the ground was being cultivated between the rows.
Well, I wonder if they had to do that manually.
Well, once upon a time, but now
all the grapes that we had. I know growing up, there was acres and acres of grapes here in Avon Lake, and most of it gone now. But, you had to do that all by hand, right?
Yeah. But in 1891, Jacob had a better idea. And we should probably share a visual with our viewing audience of this brilliant creation that Jacob came up with. What do you think?
I'll see if my hard research can dig one up.
Okay, you do that.
Sherry's already got one, and we'll share it here.
And after Jacob passed on, he left a farm and 50 acres at, he called it Avon Point, which was geographically a good way of
Yep.
describing where the location was. And of course, that went up for sale. And along with that was a good house, that was in the ad, a barn, a packing house, a gas well, and good water. We'll sell all or lakefront. Nice place for summer home.
Wow. I wonder if it was actually right on the lake.
Oh, his property? It probably did extend all the way to the lake.
I'll have to look and
It
see.
probably did. Yeah. So you said you lived on Norman at some point in your life, and I don't know where that street name comes from. The only thing that I could even remotely attach it to is one of the Moore brothers. First name was Norman, but that's just sheer speculation.
Yeah, yeah. Or a goat named Norman.
Oh,
Norman the goat, isn't he famous?
I think so. Well, let's review our previous moment of history where we talk about goats and goat carts and see if there was a goat
Let's
named
see if there was a
Norman.
Norman in there, right?
Yeah, there might have been a Norman in there. So anyway, when the Great Depression hit, I'll bet you can guess what they did with these summer cottages, a lot of families.
They converted them into permanent homes.
Yeah, year-round dwellings, because a lot of folks, although they were very successful in Cleveland previously, their businesses were declining. They were losing their companies, they were losing their jobs and losing their homes. So the next step was you move on out to the now cottage district where you had your summer home, winterize it, and that's where you could live year round.
Well, and I know growing up we called that the allotment. That's
Yes.
the 45.
Yes.
Who knows how that all went? But I still don't know why there's not a Dominic Drive in the allotment. But
Well, there is. It's just misspelled.
yeah, there you go.
You
Yep.
put a hawk instead of a neck.
There you go.
That's all. So if we hop back onto the trolley and then chug on along to our next stop,
Okay.
we'll stop at stop 46, right?
Most likely.
Do you know where we are now?
Well, I know where I was when I was a kid at stop 46, and I spent the whole day at the lake.
And where were you when you were at stop 46?
Right. I was at Bud Schaefer's house, right there on North Point Drive.
Well, if people didn't know Bud Schaefer, you have to give them a better identifier than that.
Well, the Schaefer family, it was Lulu and Gail and all the Ralph, and it was North Point Drive. You walked across.
There you go. North Point Drive. Now that.
And it was right there, and it's a beautiful. I spent all my summer at North Point at stop 46.
So there was also a Lear Road there, right?
Yep.
Lear Road. Where'd that name come from?
Well, it probably came from the Lear family, who had been here for many, many, and depending on how you spell it, and I know that Marlon Diffenbaugh, who lives over here right now on Sunset, I've spoke with her for long periods of time, and she and her brother Ted Lisbon have discussed where the name got changed, but it went from Lehr to Lear, and all kinds of different iterations.
And there was an Loehr in there, right?
Yep. Yep.
Very German-looking spelling, wasn't it?
Germans. We're full of Germans here.
Yeah. And they had a daughter named Nettie, right?
Nettie was our first hot school teacher.
You know what? All you needed to say was our first school teacher.
Yeah, I've seen her picture, and I thought she was very comely.
Okay. Let's just say she was charming.
Yes, there you go. I'm trying.
Yeah. And John Lear of the Lear family, who would have been her father, was one of Avon Lake's first councilmen.
Well, and some of their homes still exist over there. The homestead is still there.
Yeah.
And the yellow house on the east side used to be the Lear family's residence, and then on the west side, a little farther north, there's another farmhouse that was part of the Lear family.
And the yellow house, beautifully maintained. The folks who own that now, just doing a wonderful job.
I'd love to go in it just because I've lived here all this time and I've driven by it years and years and years, and just I would love to go in and see how it is inside, because that house is easily one of the oldest homes in Avon Lake.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you're hoping that they're going to watch this.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
And they're going to reach out and say, we're going to give you the opportunity you dreamed of, and you're going to be invited in to our home to take a look.
I doubt that that'll happen, because there's only 7 people watching this anyway, and chances of those guys watching it are slim and none.
Okay. You're feeling pretty feisty today, so I think we better get back on the Lakeshore Electric.
For now, Tony Tominick saying goodbye, and
Spencer, bye.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.